Focus on the process, not the results. If you focus on the process, the results will come. You're sticking to that process. Have fun with it. It doesn't need to be boring and you're just posting every day about how, hey guys, you've been in business for 10 years and here we are. Guys, have fun with it. When I circle back to that news thing with our client, they did a Christmas tree giveaway and then, or I'm sorry, pickup, and then they gave it to the goats ate the Christmas trees.
That's cool.
So I
Yeah.
said, well, now you're the goat of junk removal. And he
Yeah.
took it and ran with it. He started posting on there, having fun when he put a goat on his face with the Christmas
That's
trees. Like,
amazing.
this is how it should be, guys.
Yeah.
Like, have fun. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Blake once again from Top Doll Digital Solutions, and we are very excited to have our guest on today. This has been long overdue, so I'm glad we finally got the chance to do this. Our vision right now is really for this year. We want to talk a lot more about SEO and ways that you guys can get business without paid ads. That doesn't mean I'm knocking paid ads, but it's great to be able to get business in without having to strictly pay for it. So, without further ado, this is the best person I feel that I know of right now to talk about this. So, Lewis, if you don't mind, introduce yourself to the viewers.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been fun, chatting over the years together, kind of exchanging some ideas. You've given me some tips that have helped a ton. But yeah, no, cool to be chatting here. My name's Lewis, run a marketing agency, and we really focus entirely on websites and SEO. We've dabbled in Google Ads, but I never felt I had the ability to really inspect what our team was doing, which I do in SEO. So I'm very much in the trenches. I'm certainly not writing all the content and doing all of the work for our SEO clients. The team is handling that. But as far as looking at, okay, what's working, what's not, what technology is out there that helps us continue to offer more service for less price, or, keep our clients, rather than raising our prices, continue to add value. That's something that I'm very, very passionate about. Backlinks is something I'm really passionate about as well. It feels like a cheat code sometimes. Some of the backlinks that you can find. I've said before, it's like finding candy on the internet. It's like you're just going around and you're finding all these Easter eggs everywhere. But yeah, that's what we do currently. Background: grew up on a farm, lived the construction life all through high school, summers and even during the school year. Graduated from high school, continued on in construction. So I've done everything from plumbing to pool installations to roofing to framing houses to you name it. Probably done a little bit, except for electrical. Haven't done that. But yeah, so did that, and then realized, hey, I think I need to get like a career going here, so I can start a family. Have something to offer income wise, for my future family. And so I went first in my family to get a degree in university, got a degree in mechanical engineering, and then worked all through university as well at a mechanical engineering design firm. Cool job. And then our son was born, and I realized again, hey, this is awesome, but I'm not going to have the flexibility as an employee that I'll have, as a business owner. It looks a lot easier when you're starting your business saying, oh, I'm going to be free all the time. But I do have flexibility, even if I work more hours than I would at a regular job. I do have the flexibility. So I started the agency in 2019, kind of looking for that, and have certainly been able to do that. I just took the morning off because one of our kids had a doctor's appointment, so I could take the other kids while Alyssa took our daughter to the doctor. So that's kind of how the agency was born, meshing my love of the trades with a love of marketing, and the rest is history, I guess. And we're still writing history as we speak right now.
Yeah, and you guys do a phenomenal job. I think our paths are very similar in a way. Like, the 2019 start, and of course you
Yeah,
start the COVID and all that. That was unplanned for both of us.
yeah.
I'm sure we weren't like, hey, we're just gonna go do this, and then COVID's gonna happen. Nobody
No,
knew.
we actually had the inside scoop on COVID,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that's why we
The
started the
marketing background.
agencies.
We were,
Yeah,
but it's been fun to see your journey. And kind of, we've communicated over the years and kind of seeing where each other has been and where we're going. And I think we've always had a great relationship. And it's not just me and you. We have other people involved. Ronnie, there's
yeah,
a bunch of guys that are involved in this as well. So I don't want to just single us out, but just for obviously me and you being on here, um,
yeah.
I'm excited to have this. I know you have a lot of knowledge in this, and this is a good start. If we want to talk about this in 2025, then having Lewis on is the start that we need, in my opinion.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Let's dive into some SEO. I will let everybody know right now, there's no way we can dive into everything SEO within 25, 30 minutes. It's not possible. There's a lot that goes into it. But some of the things we'll cover today will be helpful. First, not just in the basics, but also I want to talk about some of the future of SEO as well, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the basics, right? You mentioned backlinks. I think you know a lot about backlinks. It's kind of something that you have put a lot of emphasis on, and I agree with you there. So tell us a little bit about that. What does that mean for someone who has no idea? Because we're gonna have a lot of viewers here. Like, I don't really know what that means. What do backlinks mean to SEO? What are backlinks? And just dive into that a little bit for us.
Yeah, so you can think of like Google has the hard job of trying to figure out what a customer wants when they're typing something into Google. And it wants to stay the dominant search engine. So they're going to try and serve up the best result for someone who's looking. And they're going to do that by, they have like 200 plus data points that they look at, on each website to see, hey, is this the match for what this person is looking at based on their history of searching, et cetera? They know everything about you. And one of those data points is how many websites are linking back to you, what types of websites are linking back to you, how it's looking at all of these things and saying, what is it that matters for the client that's using it, and what are the things that Google takes into consideration there. So backlinks being one of those things, you can basically think of a backlink like a vote of confidence. So when someone links back to you, it's a fancy word that SEOs throw around all day, every day, but a backlink essentially is when someone links from a piece of text. It could be a roofer talking about, hey, when we're doing the job, we're going to get rid of your shingles. We're going to put them in a dumpster and take them, to the dump. And they could link from the word dumpster to, a dumpster rental company that they work with. That's a backlink for that dumpster rental company. So when you set up, there's many different types of backlinks as well. There's citations, which are, directories and whatnot. There is when you set up social profiles, so Google Business Profile, Facebook Profile, LinkedIn Profile. Those are all linking back to your website. They are all considered backlinks. But the best ones are when you can get like local websites that have some authority and power linking to your website. That's just, chef's kiss for your website and what you really want to be going after to build that trust and that authority and that vote of confidence, so that Google can see, hey, they're doing all the things. And basically it's also a way to show that you're a networker. I said this last night when I was talking to someone, but backlinking is essentially just digital networking. You're taking your real life network, your real life connections, and translating them into something that Google can see online, because you've got those links coming back from other websites. Getting PR, news features is backlinks, really powerful ones sometimes. There's just so many different things that we can go down, a list. I have an ever-growing list of ideas to try and hit, because everybody's in a different situation. But that's the basics of what it is. I went a little bit deeper than basics there for a second, but essentially, the more websites linking back to your website, the better, within reason, with the caveat that it has to be, somewhat related to what you're doing or local or something. You don't want to just go on Fiverr and buy 1,000 backlinks for $5. That's not going to help you. That could actually hurt you.
Yeah. It's funny because like SEO in a whole can be very complicated, right? But I think if we break it down on a basic level, it helps simplify. When you think of SEO, I think of like Google is really just in its basics trying to find someone who's trusted in multiple different ways,
Uh,
who is close enough to perform the service, because they ideally want their customer to come back to Google the next time they need something. So look for
yeah.
that trust. And then when it comes to backlinks, I've always looked at that as if like Google, it's like a job interview, and Google's the one doing the job interview, and the backlinks are your references
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
in its simplest form.
Yeah, I've not heard it like that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only difference I'd say is that you don't want a bunch of references. You want high quality references, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that would be the
Well,
only.
if you can match both of those, get a ton of
If
high
you can,
quality
yeah,
and
yeah. If you can
yeah.
get a bunch of them and they're high quality, yeah. But like you said, you don't want to hop on Fiverr and just be like, let me get thousands of these, because I agree with you more. I think that'll hurt more than it'll help.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that gives you guys kind of an idea of that. And then for you, Lewis, I don't want you giving all the gold away here. I know you guys
Oh,
got.
I'll give away
Uh,
the info's free. The implementation is what's going to cost
but
you.
you had mentioned like everybody has kind of a different scenario with backlinks. For most, what's kind of the common thing that you guys are looking to accomplish with backlinks? And I'll say with most because obviously there might be some scenarios where it changes.
So as many high quality as you can. So for us, we're mainly working with local home service. A lot of junk removal, a lot of dumpster. I know that you play in those game that game as well with those niches and some others. But chambers of commerce, you got to be getting in those as many as you can. If they're close enough that you can use them for networking, awesome. But they're still valuable from a backlink perspective. Your all your social profiles, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and then working to get on all your local directories. So there's, you can go on and you can just search for, local business directory, um, you know, Baltimore, for example, and you're going to find a bunch of directories there. You can also, there's a bunch of national directories as well. You want to get on those too. And then it's how can we build relationships with the customers that you already have that are businesses or the business owners that are in parallel universes to yours. So a dumpster rental company could be writing a blog post for a realtor and it could be the five things to do before you sell your home, and one of them might be make sure the stuff is cleaned out, and you can either call a junk removal company or you can call a dumpster rental company, and 123 dumpster is the one to call in Maryland. We've vetted them and we know how they work. That's a really good backlink, and it provides value for the realtor because there's some content that they can put up there and get indexed, and Google can drive traffic to that. It's a lead magnet that they can use on their social media, like, hey, want to know the five things that you should do before you prep to sell, and now you're being shared on social media and it's getting linked back to you.
Yep, I agree with all those things. And one of the things that we kind of have a little extra leverage is in those relationships too. So for instance, we might have someone that we service in one realm or one industry be able to point to the other one. And we
Yeah,
can kind of be the ones to direct that connection within it,
yeah,
especially if those sites are building the way that we want them to build and they have that authority that we built up. So then we can
yeah.
kind of play with that together. So talk a little bit more of the future of SEO,
So
AI.
I love when you ask that because I think that the basics, the foundation, is also the future.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have to go back to we have to go back to that. Google is just trying to figure out what info is real and accurate by matching up all these different data points. And then now we just have another layer of AI being able to summarize search results, AI being able to be used for writing content, AI being able to be used for all the different things that you can think of really in marketing or in serving up search results. So when it comes to like the AI overviews or the AI search results, that's going to be really important. I think it already is becoming important. It's going to take a lot of search traffic directly to one of those people. So you need to look at how can you be showing up in those AI search results. So if someone's looking for a dumpster rental company in Baltimore, how do you get in there? And again, it comes down to building your authority, getting your business mentioned everywhere, in the news, on social media, tagged every which way and upside and downside. You know, all of that is Google is looking at that. It's very smart. It's got its own AI it's been using for ages actually, and people think it's a new thing, but it's been using that to organize stuff in the SERPs, the search engine results, forever. And so the more data, the more info, you can't be scared to put your info out there. You have to put it everywhere. Get on podcasts if you're a business owner. Hire an agency, yes, but again, we're just multipliers here. And if you're not already doing the stuff, sure, we can teach you if you're hungry to learn. But a lot of people come to agencies hoping that they're going to fix everything for them, when in reality, that's just not the case. So to kind of circle it back to the future, it's how can you be everywhere? How can you be everywhere and providing value and providing info that lines up with all the other info that's out there on the internet, as it relates to you and your business?
Yeah, and I'm going to double down on what you said because I don't want that to seem like that's the stance that Lewis carries. We carry that same stance when it comes to marketing, guys. At the end of the day, we're here to put you in a position to grow and to scale, right? But that's a team effort.
Yeah,
That is a team effort. I don't care what marketing agency it is. That's a team effort. We're playing in this game together, and that's a really important factor to understand. Is that while we have the leverage to help you build and do the things that you need to do in these categories, there are things that you're going to be able to do that we can't do for you on a local level. Some of those relationships, like Lewis, I'll give you an example of that. And it's a huge example for SEO. One of our guys, like local news station, guys, it's not that far-fetched to get on the local news. One of our guys, he did a Christmas tree giveaway. That was huge for him in multiple different ways. Talk about not
Yeah.
just but other different areas of opportunity. We couldn't have really done that for him in the way that he did that for him by setting that up, right? We could have suggested, hey, you should do a Christmas tree giveaway, and maybe this will happen. But he still would have had to have done it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a team effort at the end of the day. And I know you've seen it, we've seen it. The ones who are really willing to put that level of effort in and really want to see this through, they typically win. And I see
Can't
that
stop them.
as well.
Yeah, you can't stop the people that are willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And back to the Christmas tree giveaway and the press releases. This is something I'm working to systematize actually to teach our clients how to do it. Like find something, find anything. When we started our junk removal company, I got a team member to message all of the local news stations and say, hey, two alumni from the local university are starting a junk removal company to give back to the community. We got like 5 interviews off of it in some really nice magazines that still are there as backlinks to this day for our business. So it's something you can share on social media. It's a really powerful backlink typically. And you might get eyeballs on it for your ideal customer, which is, older people that tend to watch the news are, especially in junk removal and dumpsters, are your ideal clients. So it's really important. And then as stuff gets shared around, even if you're just being tagged in groups a ton, that is something that Google can see. You've seen Facebook pages rank. Google is also looking at, everywhere that your Facebook page gets mentioned or your brand is mentioned on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. It knows, and you should be leaning into that. That's why some people that only do social media can still dominate, because Google is seeing that. Like their Facebook page can rank because of all of that activity there.
Yeah.
So don't just look at how can you get your website showing up number one for one keyword. Look at, hey, how can I show up, on 5 spots on the homepage for 10 different keywords? That's where the real power starts to come with marketing.
Yep. Yep. Because it goes back to what you said. You're trying to put as much out there. You want to put as much out there as you can to be visible,
Yeah.
right? And the beauty of it is a lot of these things, they all kind of interconnect in a way, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think if you do enough to put yourself out there, to put your website out there, to put your Facebook out there, to put your business out there, like you're going to get that visibility one way or another.
Yeah.
Right? Like that level of effort's going to pay off. And the beauty of it is it's not something that's going to require multiple hours a day. It's really the consistency, and that's the hardest part. Doing these things over and over again to the point that that is building up. It's not an overnight thing. You're not looking to post
No,
out that today and all of a sudden you're going to rank. But time is use time to your advantage,
it's
right?
going to pass anyway.
It's yeah, like if I post every single day and that takes me 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes tops. It shouldn't take you 15 minutes, but let's say it does. You got to really think about it. There's things that you do every day for that take 10, 15 minutes already in your day-to-day
Scrolling
life.
Facebook.
Like you're on it. Yeah. I guarantee most of you spend that amount of time on there, a lot more than you probably realize, right? If you do that every single day for 365 days, that's 365 posts at least. These are 365 different ways that you had a chance to get in front of somebody for free. And all this is stacking, all these things are building up, right? And
Yeah.
it's not just Facebook. I'm using that as an example, but this is how you should look at it. I think the problem is one, we do get caught up in everything we have going on. And I understand that. I do too. You know what I mean? I'm guilty as charged with that. That happens. But there's no reason why you can't get yourself back to that routine when it happens.
Yeah.
And the other thing, this is the killer that really gets people, is that they're like, well, I haven't seen any results from it. I did it for a week. I did it for a few days. I did it for 20 days. I did it for 30 days. And I don't think it's doing anything. Focus on the process, not the results. If you focus on the process, the results will come.
Yeah.
You're sticking to that process. And that's enjoy the process. You know what? We try and tell our clients, and Lewis, I'm sure you tell them the same. Have fun. Have fun with it. It doesn't need to be boring and you're just posting every day about how, hey guys, you've been in business for 10 years and here we are. Guys, have fun with it. When I circle back to that news thing with our client, they did a Christmas tree giveaway and then, or I'm sorry, pickup. And then they gave it to the goats ate the Christmas trees.
That's cool.
So I
Yeah.
said, well, now you're the goat of junk removal. And he
Yeah.
took it and ran with it. He started posting on there, having fun when he put a goat on his face with the Christmas
That's
trees. Like,
amazing.
this is how it should be, guys.
Yeah.
Like, have fun. Enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. Don't worry about, oh, well, what if somebody doesn't like that? I promise you, if you're having fun and there's somebody who's like, oh, that doesn't get it, they're not your customer anyway. You
Yeah.
just weeded them out. And you brought in your ideal customer because they probably laughed and were like, I gotta work with that guy. Like if I
Yeah.
need junk removed or I need somebody, whatever your space you're in, that's my guy.
Yeah.
But
It's huge.
I guess, God, 30 minutes goes fast. Um, I guess, Lewis, before we wrap, what are some things, some misconceptions about SEO? Let's kind of finish with that. We'll have to find a way to get a round two of this going because time flew by on this. Give me kind of some misconceptions, and then I'll have you kind of wrap it up from
Well, I mean, backlinks is a big one. Why do I have to pay you to help me, or why do I have to put in the effort to do it when I can just go on Fiverr? That's a big one. Why can't I just write all my content with AI? You certainly should be using AI for content writing. It's going to save you a heck of a lot of time, but you need to human optimize it as well, and make sure that it's got some experience, some authoritativeness, some trustworthiness built into your content. Those are things that Google looks at. Those are two big ones, really. And then, 3 months in, why am I not, blowing it? Why are my phones not blowing up? In some very rare cases, that can happen, but it's a compounding interest game. I use the analogy of compound interest a lot with SEO. You're going to invest for a while, and then, your cost per lead is going to go down, 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 because you're going to be paying the same amount in your resources or paying someone like us for an agency, and you'll just start getting more and more leads. And that's the really exciting thing about it. And you'll be so glad in a year and a half that you stuck with SEO, because it's just going to like start to really take off. But if you quit after 6 months, 8 months, and you're like, oh, I don't know, then you haven't given it the time to really flourish. I don't know if that's a myth, but that's a recommendation for sure that I would give people.
there. Yeah. Well, I mean, you focus really heavily on, I'm sure you look after clients leave or when they pulse and look
Yeah,
at what happens. I mean, we have that ascending, and then
yeah.
descending, right? I mean, we're not making that up. It's there. That information is there. You can look at it for yourself.
Well, it doesn't always dip either. It could just like stall,
It could
and
stall.
then
Yeah.
you lost that momentum that you had
Yeah.
started up.
The constant is it doesn't usually keep unless
Yeah,
they took over and started doing the things that we're doing, which I always say, like, you can do some SEO stuff yourself.
yeah,
You can. It's going to take you a lot of time, and you're going to have to be as consistent as a team whose focus is SEO. A team like Lewis's, that day to day, they're focusing on this and putting that level of effort in, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
can do that, but it's going to be hard for you because of the amount of hats that you're already wearing.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
And there's a lot of things that are changing. Again,
yeah,
it's not rocket science, but it's certainly, focusing on one thing and becoming the best we can. That's the goal, to make it make sense for people.
yeah, yeah. No, you guys have done a great job of that. You focus. One thing I think that I appreciate with what you've built is your focus doesn't stray. Typically,
Yeah,
it's rare that I've seen your focus stray at any point. You guys have
yeah,
always had a focus here, and I think that allows you to really have a deep level of understanding of not just what's happening, but what's going to happen as well, which is just as important, because
yeah,
you can be ahead of the game. That's an advantage. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And we're all striving to do that as marketers, in
yeah.
whatever piece we're doing.
Yeah,
Lewis, man,
congrats on your new AI tool that you just launched.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a game
We're kind of
changer.
in a weird spot right now because we're launching new things, and this is the first time I've launched anything new since we like pretty much started from, like at this level. We had the
Yeah,
community last year, and that was new, and that was fun. But at this level, like a new product
yeah.
launch,
How's
um,
it going? How's the reception been?
it's going pretty well, man. It's pretty
That's
exciting.
awesome.
In fact, I told Chase we probably need to slow it down because we don't want to take like too many people on at once with it, right?
Yeah,
We're pretty excited about it. And it's, it goes back to what I said with me and you, right? Understanding your clients,
yeah,
some of the solutions that they need. I'm sure you agree. That's something that some people need some assistance with and some help.
for
And
sure.
that those are our focus right now. It's like, do you really have a hole? It's not to sell it. It's to be like, do you have a hole? Let's fill it so
Yeah.
we can pilot this and get it running. Then you sell it. But
Then
right now,
everybody makes more money, right? You're
yeah,
going to make more money because you're going to retain clients because they're going to be making more money because their phone is being answered. It's a
it
beautiful
all
symbiosis.
it all connects. This is all a numbers game at the end of the day, guys. And Lewis looks at it, I look at it. The numbers need to add up. Lewis mentioned being fair in his pricing. I think he looks at it the same way I do. Like when we price out, it's not about us getting rich and just having this biggest marketing agency. We could charge more. I mean, if you look at SEO, we're actually charging relatively low, both of us, in the
Yeah.
grand scheme.
Compared to some people, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not expensive, but in comparison, but we're trying to come in at a fair level. Like I'm sure Lewis, you look at this too. You're like, okay, well, if I get X amount of jobs for them, and here's the averages of them closing and stuff like that, they would pay me and they get this in return,
Yeah.
right? Because it makes sense on all angles. We want people to win. We're in this for that as well. We're not just here to build a business and call it a day. And you had that belief, and that's why we have a good connection together. When
Yeah.
if someone mentions you, I say they're great. There's a reason for that. It's because your internal beliefs are very similar to mine, and you guys work really, really hard at your craft and you do great work. And I can
On the
confidently,
flip side, here's something cool that I've seen a couple times is I've gotten a prospect and they come over and I'm like, oh, I almost always ask who they work with before. And they're like, oh, I was working with Blake. And then I'll just shoot you a message and I'll be like, all right, how was this client?
yeah.
Are you good? Do you want to, can you save the relationship?
So know
And
that.
then, yeah,
So know
you
that
are.
right now. And I do the same. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
you're with Lewis, okay? You because a lot of times we both understand there's misconceptions, there's things that might have been understood in a relationship.
Yeah.
And all it takes
Well,
is
and
really a
the
conversation.
truth is, I'm often trying to dodge a bullet. Like if it didn't work out with Blake, what's going on here? There's something. Of course, you're going to get clients. We're all human, right? We're going to have clients that something happens and sours the relationship. But if it's like Blake's like, man, I don't know, you can snag the client, but be aware of this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll pass on this one.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, guys, like we want to work with the right people as well.
Yeah,
Both Lewis
100%.
and I, we're in a position where we're not desperate to sell to you guys. We want to find the best fits for you and for us.
Yeah,
I could say that with 100% confidence, no
yeah,
BS. Like we have,
100%.
I know Lewis has, we have turned down many people. We've been like, you're just not ready yet.
Yeah,
For different, might have been monetary, might have just been, kind of business and helping them understand like you need these things for business first, whatever the case may be. Um, and I know you guys are like that as well. So we
yeah,
want to avoid headaches too, just like
yeah.
you guys.
But
You don't
it's
want a
not fun
headache.
for either party. It's not fun for the client. It's not
Yeah,
fun for us. If
not fun
we
for
get 6 months down the road and they're like, "Oh, this sucks," and I've wasted money. It's like, well, maybe you need to like figure something else out then.
yeah. And the same goes for them. They don't want headache customers.
No.
I see the messages and different things that come in, and I'm usually like, something could come in, and I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't work with that person. Like,
Yeah.
if I were
Yeah.
them, I wouldn't work with that person. I would just pass this job on. It ain't worth it, right?
Yeah.
We do the same thing, guys. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, Lewis has a lot to do other than chat with us today. I really,
Hey, this
really,
has been
really
fun.
appreciate you hopping on. We'll definitely here in the next month or two have to set up a round two of this, but. To wrap up, where can people find you, man? Because you're number one, a wealth of knowledge and a great guy. So where could they find you?
I'm most active on Facebook, I would say. So shoot me a message anytime. But just search Lewis Vandervalk or Blue Crocus Solutions, and we should pop up because we've been working on our SEO as well.
Yeah, you guys have, and you're doing a great job there as well. So thanks again, Lewis. Thanks for coming on. Thanks everybody for watching. I will do everything I can to get Lewis back on here with his busy schedule. But thanks for the time, man. I really appreciate it. And
Thanks for having me.
yeah, absolutely, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.